JB here, JB. Hope is doing outstanding. Thursday, January 23rd, 317. Sorry, trying to fix the audio here. Talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at go from their S&P is right at the pretty much the highs of the session, 608 and change on the SPY. You had President Trump speaking via conference at Davos. I guess normally he was there, but talking about the same stuff that you probably see all the headlines about already in regards to tariffs, manufacturing jobs, banks. He was going after Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan, I guess his name is. Just a lot of that stuff. But then, of course, the backdrop here is just some news now about crypto. And, if there's a couple things that are, been going on since the election has been the pro crypto environment that we're in right now. So volatile. As much as I want to get in front of some of these names, Trim, they're so volatile, and I tend to stick with some of the other names for now. But that's the overall market. Take a look at the SPY. I thought 607 or so would be the choppy area. Upper Bollinger Bands at 608.67 right now. So maybe some more choppier today. And then maybe we work on some new highs tomorrow. 610 would be ideal. I would love to see that handle broken. Funny, it almost looked like maybe we're going to have a red session today. And we reversed that in the morning and then chopping around ever since. So good sign there. What's funny is they just that news came that he was around the crypto side, signing orders related to crypto, establishing Commission on Science, Technology, all this fun stuff, and it's like gold is still sitting there, and I'm like, I get it, you know, but I mean, it has to wait at some point, but maybe I have it completely wrong. All right, so that's overall market. Uh, Trying to think of some other things. Again, earnings next week. The big day is Wednesday. You got the Fed meeting. Well, Fed meeting's Tuesday. Then the press conference at 2 and 2:30 on Wednesday. And then there's earnings. You have the M's, Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. And then Thursday you have Apple. So definitely going to be an interesting week next week. So that's all. Yeah, cryptocurrency working group. News just keeps coming through. All right, so now individual names. So first, I'll talk really quick about Caterpillar. I don't know why Caterpillar had to wait a day to do what it did today, but frustrating. Thankfully, it moved down enough yesterday that I held the rest of my 410 strikes because they came back to life in a major way. It just kept going from the open. 400, once it broke 400, then 403, 404, and then also all the way up to near 410. So locked some more of my strikes in for over. I was trying to get out for at the $2 handle, and the bid was there. I put it in, and it disappeared. So still got some more out for 600%. I'll just hold the rest into tomorrow. I was talking about 408 and 410. So once it broke 408, it was like a spike to 410. If it gets over 410 tomorrow, it could be another 2-3% move. If that happens, you start looking, it's going to go to 420, and then the 410 calls will be some nice multi-baggers. So great to have played Cat finally after staring at it last week. And then next week they report earnings. So it's going to be a little tougher to try and play it next week. So I'll just revisit. Maybe I'll revisit after earnings. They report earnings a week from today, Thursday morning, pre-market, next Thursday morning. So that's Caterpillar. Now TripAdvisor. And you know what? It had some funny volume in the morning and it was gapping because I think it closed at 1570 or so, right? I think that's what it closed yesterday. And then it was gapping over 16 bucks. I go to search. There's no analyst upgrades that I saw. I'm like, is there any news? And the funny thing is, there's a meme coin that trades under the ticker TRIP. So sometimes it's tough to wade through all the tweets and the FinTwit communities because all you're getting is the spam from these coins. But I didn't see anything. And then it's just melting higher, melting higher. Me, I'm like, oh wow, people maybe they're starting to read my due diligence. I mean, not that I think a lot of folks do, but if they do, hey, I mean, to me, I think I still look at it. I'm like, this thing's way undervalued just by its two segments. It's acquired two segments from 2014, 2015, let alone its standalone core business. So, and it's hitting highs right here at 1780. So anyway, I kept running, and then you start looking at reports, and I'm like, I looked at Liberty TripAdvisor Group and had a filing for I don't know if it's a proxy vote on the merger, which just came out this morning, and it's tons of lines of and different other links that you can click on to get some other statements and lawyer conversations and things like that. And I was trying to search to find any info on it. Of course, I couldn't. And then finally, thank you, TGents came out with the actual verbatim with what page it was on. Once you go there, you can see they received some interest for a buyout in October at 1750. Mind you, I think the stock was trading in the 13s or 12s in October. And then a new offer this December 4th for 18 to $19. And I don't know, and it looks like it's a cash offer, and I don't know if that's for just Trip or was it Trip and then the Liberty Advisor, Trip Advisor, the Liberty Trip Advisor as well. I don't know what that looks like. Needless to say, they nixed it, and then they went ahead with this deal where TripAdvisor is buying out the rest of the stake of Liberty. And I don't know if that's to clean things up, but the fact they turned it down for 18, 19, now you start looking, I'm like, I think it should be trading substantially higher to begin with. So maybe there's going to be another offer that comes that'll be more public. But anyway, took the move, able to lock some of my calls I added on Friday. You know, it's funny. This couldn't happen last week when I had the $16 call, the $15 calls, right? This this happens the week after. That's just how it works with the options, right? But needless to say, I thankfully got some of those some March 18s on Friday. Closed some of those out to cover costs for 100%, and then I went and got some of the June strikes I've been holding for a little bit, and I closed some of those out for a little over 100%. I'll just continue to hold because I think it trades north of 20 in the coming weeks. The negative thing here would be if there is an M&A and there is some buyout, and maybe it caps the top, right? So my June 21 calls, maybe I'll look to close those out and just hold the Marches for now. So something I'll have to think about tonight, and as I do more research, because also that Liberty deal with TripAdvisor, that merger where they buying 27 million of their shares, retiring those. I don't know when that deal is actually official, and I think it's next quarter. So I don't know what all the moving parts look like. So I might have to take a look at that. But for now, I'll just continue to hold my positions. It's still going higher, 1780 here. It might be over 18 bucks before the end of the day. That's Trip. Adobe disappointing today. You know what? I was actually looking for some strikes into next week, but I'll for now just hold into tomorrow. Um, and then still has a tight pincher, and it's down 0.25%. So it's not even like it's a big pullback today. Just and for all I know, we got 36 minutes to close. It might still close green. So still a great pincher, and I still think it's headed over 450 and beyond. It's just you look next week, and the calls are still kind of pricey. So maybe I'll wait till tomorrow, see if I can find some decent risk reward strikes there. Same with MDB. You know what? It looked like death this morning, all the way down to 253. Did it go to 253? Yeah, 253 and change. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of about 45 minutes, it's back over 260. So now it's been chopping around. If it holds 260, and then tomorrow might be a key day. If it finds support tomorrow, I'll be adding some strikes to play for that move to 280 and beyond next week. Netflix. So I put on the watch list this morning. I was going to try and get some calls on Netflix at some point, whether it be today, tomorrow, or sometime next week, because I think it's headed over $1,000 and beyond. Especially the higher it goes, the louder the chatter is going to be around the split, because it's going to happen at some point. 10-for-1 split, 5-for-1 split, whatever, and then that's going to be the next leg for it. It's going to go from wherever it is another $100. Uh, so got those calls on strength this morning. It was churning around. That broke 970. There was 974, and then it just didn't seem to find its footing. And not only that, every time it bounced, the premiums on the calls didn't move much. So I didn't want to be in a spot where I lost the premiums. They're pretty far out of money. I closed those out, and I'll revisit. I don't know if I'll revisit before the close here. If you look, the the 1025s are actually cut in half from where I got them. So despite the stock being up nearly 3% today, the out of the money calls got crushed. I'm not going to sit there and try and grab some for tomorrow, but I do think it could be another opportunity for some speculatos tomorrow. So don't be surprised if I add some. And then finally, I got some February strikes on Roku. I was churning around $78 at 10 o'clock. It looked like death, and all of a sudden it got a good bit. It's funny how Roku trades a lot of times. Not funny, because most times it's frustrating, but uh, sometimes when it gaps and runs higher in the morning and then it sells off in the afternoon, it does that. But then the days where it opens lower, sells off, and then bounces, it seems to be the strong days. It had that like 2 weeks ago when it went from 78 all the way up to 86. Not saying deja vu is going to hit 86 before the close, but a nice setup. And then tomorrow's going to be a key day for continuation, because one of these days it has continuation. It'll be off to the races. And then the plan is with the February strikes, they'll announce their earnings date. Fingers crossed, it's not after February 21st, right? Because then premiums will get eroded a bit. I don't know if we'll get a premium bump once they announce their earnings date. I would assume it's going to be the week of the 21st. So it's either going to be uh, between the 17th and the 21st. I mean, if it's before that, that's fine as well. gives another week for some moves after the earnings. But the plan would be to get some premium bill, maybe trades into the 90s in the next week or two, locks them in to cover costs and ride the rest. That's Roku. Joby chopping around here. It's almost, well, it's down 1% now, all the way down to 840 this morning. Uh, and then, well, this morning is earlier this afternoon before bouncing. That one's looking, one of these days, there'll be some follow through, but I'm still going to wait for 962 to break on that one. I'm trying to think of some of the other names here. I keep saying, not saying, but just earlier, I would love to get in some of these the miners, right? The crypto space. If you've heard my rants, I probably should record. I don't think I have them all recorded, but back when 2013, 2014, when Bitcoin was all still in the early stages of all this, I was very bullish crypto. But then as it becomes more mainstream, to me, it's tough when I start reading the FinTwin. Same with the nuclear, right? I mean, it's almost like we all know now that there's going to be a requirement for tons of energy for AI. I mean, there was a whole conversation around how bad crypto is for the environment because how much energy it takes to run the blockchains and the ledgers and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, almost sometimes things seem too obvious to me that I get not nervous, but I can't get convicted. I like to get plays that I feel that not a lot of folks are talking about, right? Like a TripAdvisor. No one was talking about TripAdvisor at the end of December, right? And I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more chatter, especially if there's more rumors, and then people start seeing the filings. Because it's not like there was an M&A news came out and hit the wire and say, "Oh, TripAdvisor got interest for about." No, it's all in those filings. So, uh, yeah, so it's tough. So maybe one of these days. I remember looking at Riot and well, Riot was the one that really was that I saw back. This is back with Zidu Coin and Longfin, right? Uh, the miners, all these names, these folks are trying to take advantage by saying, "Oh, they're buying servers. They're buying servers." Mining machines. Excuse me, mining machines. But all right, that's I think that's it. I'm trying to think of some of the other names here. Big earnings next week. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I'm still looking for from my top five stocks. So the one I was looking at today was Weave. It's just not doing too much. So uh it's a tight Bollinger Band setup. So maybe I'll look to get some calls soon on that one, maybe into earnings. I don't think they have a date yet. That's it, folks. Let's have a great afternoon. I'll be back rock and roll.